So yes, you are a non-Muslim, you said.
Yeah, I'm a non-Muslim.
Okay, perfect. So what can I do for you?
Well, I would call myself an agnostic atheist in that I don't see any reason to think any God exists. And I was told to come to you for a discussion. So I'm curious to see what you would have to contribute to my worldview.
Okay, so I don't know who's told you, because you said I was told. I'm sure like that person is not like sent by me or anything like that.
I'm on I'm on
Yeah.
TikTok every day, and I discuss religion a lot with Christians and Muslims mostly, actually. And they told me to come to you for some insights. So I'm curious to see why you would think that I should believe a God exists.
Well, that is the misconception that you're coming with. You're basically coming with what other people told you, and then you assume that I'm of the same position, right? Which makes no sense. You gotta ask me like my position first. So let me say my position clearly. As a Muslim, Allah tells us to deliver the message. What is delivering the message? Delivering the message is like giving someone, for example, a piece of paper that with information written on it, and the person reads it, or telling him certain types of information. Our job is not to convince anyone. Everyone will die one day, and everyone will be held accountable for how they live their life. That is a fact from our worldview. If they accept Islam, it's for their own benefit. And if they don't accept
you're
Islam,
inspired to spread the message, but it's not like you have to convert as many people as possible. I understand that.
Yeah, not only that, I don't need to convince anyone. That is the most important part that I want to make, because you're coming from that angle in a way. Oh, can you offer me? So I'm not like a salesman. Like I'm not coming with, for example, with like, oh, please buy this pair. So like, would you like if you got questions?
No, I understand that.
Yeah. Like if you
it's just that my position is that I just don't see any reason why I would think a God exists. So I was wondering if you could tell me why you think God exists, so that maybe I can come around to your worldview.
Okay, so you see, that's a very that's a beautiful way of asking a question. If you ask the question from the beginning, I would say anything. Like that's okay. For example, you can ask me why I believe, and then I'll tell you why I believe. No problem. All right. So my question to you is the following: as an agnostic individual or someone who doesn't believe in a creator, say, or a higher power or whatever, now you have a universe that exists. Now that universe that we live in right now today, do you take the scientific consensus that this universe has a starting point referred to as the Big Bang or whatever? Do you accept that scientific consensus that we have today?
Yes.
Okay. If you do accept that if something has a beginning, has a starting point, and it is not a conscious being that makes decisions, nor does it make choices on its own and has a will, like for example, rocks or buildings or the universe, or whatever, it's matter. It does not have a will or conscious or agency. Now, if something does not have a will, consciousness, or agency, and there is an effect taking place, then by definition, that would require a cause. So my question to you will be, what is the cause that caused the Big Bang first to be compressed into a singularity? Where did the energy and matter come from? What caused it to compress into a singularity? And how did it expand in the exact precise way that it expanded to allow the universe to exist, number one, and two, to allow life to exist? How did that happen?
I think, well, I don't know how that happened, and I don't really need an explanation for how that happened to reject the God claim. Because the God claim is the claim of an explanation, and if you can't support that explanation with adequate evidence, then I see no reason to accept that explanation and still remain agnostic about how the universe actually came to be in its current state.
Okay, sure. So the I don't know escape card doesn't work, and I'll tell you why it doesn't work. But before I tell you why the I don't know escape card, which all atheists agnostic use, whenever they are put with a question that is destroying the worldview in a way, because you need to like account for that and explain. You're asking me about God, so and everyone believes that God created the universe. But anyways, I did not bring the word God in my question, right? I did not mention God, but you brought up God because I don't know, maybe you're jumping into a conclusion, you're jumping into assumptions. You shouldn't do that. I asked a simple question. Now, taking God away from the picture, because I didn't posit God and I didn't say, "Oh, God did it." Well, I didn't say that.
And my answer was, I don't know. My answer was, I don't know.
Sure, but there is a cause by definition. That is what common sense would say. Whether you know or you don't know, there must be a cause, because there's no effect without a cause.
Sure. So let's say I don't know. You claim to know. So how do you claim
just step
to
by
know?
step? Yeah, step by step. You don't know what the cause is, but you know there is a cause. Let's agree on that first.
Yeah, something must have caused it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever that thing that caused the universe will require, by definition, specific attributes to cause the universe. For example, just like we say the person who we'll come to it. Look, there's no need to rush, right? It's a step-by-step process. Just like the person who made your phone required certain attributes. Without intelligence, without knowledge of language, without being able to assemble material, which is a form of ability, without will and choice, he would not have been able to make your phone. So we say that our necessary attribute. Oh,
I already disagree.
Whoever created,
you
disagree that whoever created. 1 second, let me just say what I want to say, and then you can say because why. You disagree that whoever created the phone needed knowledge of language, needed ability to assemble material. Is that what you disagree with?
That's not my point of disagreement. You can't compare a phone to a universe because we know how phones are produced.
I never compared yet.
Because we know how phones are produced. They are designed and manufactured in a factory. And you cannot show me a universe that was designed and manufactured in a factory.
Okay, but this is my issue. Like, and I'll say this to you with all due respect. You're showing signs of jumping into an answer or a conclusion before I even mentioned that. I was literally describing why a phone requires attributes, and then you jumped into you cannot compare a phone into the universe, which I haven't done yet. And then you jumped into why I cannot compare the universe. You gotta allow a chance. First, you gotta be reasonable and accept first premises before we jump into conclusions. Number one.
Okay.
Number two, not to assume things that I would say something before I say. Once I say that thing, then you can tell me, okay, this is right or wrong. Okay. Let's
if I may interrupt for 1 second, if I may respond for 1 second, I didn't bring up the phone. You brought up the phone.
Yes.
And you compared the phone to you compared the phone to a universe.
I didn't. I was given an analogy. I was asking a question. I said, does the phone...
Yeah, the analogy is the issue because it's not analogous.
I'll tell you why it's analogous. But first, I was trying to get you to agree to the analogy with the phone before we move on to the analogy of the universe, which then you can pose your objections, and then I can tell you why your objections are incorrect. That's how argumentation works, right?
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully, there's more patience when we're moving forward. Okay. I'm going to say this. Okay. The phone, again, I'm going to pose my question again. Is it by necessity necessary for whoever created the phone to possess the attributes that I mentioned?
Yes.
Because without them, you cannot create the phone.
Yep.
Now, the analogy that I made is perfectly analogous to the universe, and I'll tell you why. Whatever caused the universe, when we look at the universe itself, there are necessary attributes that must be present for whoever caused the universe to cause the universe. Where is the irrationality in the statement?
The irrationality is that you are presupposing a who. You are presupposing agency when you have no reason to do so.
Did I say agency?
Yes, you said a who, which implies agency.
I didn't say who. I said whatever.
Yes, you said whoever created the universe, which implies a who, whatever. Does it not?
I said whatever.
No, you said whoever. We can rewind the live. You said whoever designed the universe.
Would you like to do so? Would you like to do so now and then apologize for attributing something to me that I haven't said? Please rewind.
Absolutely.
Rewind the video. Whatever caused the universe, when we look at the universe itself, there are necessary attributes that must be present for whoever caused the universe to cause the universe. Just go on YouTube and rewind the video. I think the viewers will do that. I said whatever caused the universe. Whatever.
No, you said whomever.
Look, with all due respect,
I'm paying attention to your words, and I'm being very particular about mine. So you may want to be more particular about yours.
No, I'll tell you why it's getting very, very petty, because anyone can rewind the video now. And I wouldn't say I didn't say something if I didn't say it. Okay, here, he said whatever. He said whatever. You said whatever. He said whatever. Like, no point of saying people can go and rewind it. I mean, you cannot assume people are fools and attribute to me something I haven't said. And I literally reiterated it twice in my discussion with you. Then hopefully you can be patient and you do not put words in my mouth when I haven't said them. Then you
if I am mistaken, I apologize for my words.
So I'll say it again, which is, it's fine. I accept your apology, no issues. I'll say it again. I said whatever. Again, I'll say whatever, right? Whatever caused the universe, by definition, requires necessary attributes to cause the universe. Otherwise, it is not rationally possible to create or to bring the universe or to cause the universe. So I'm saying that's perfectly analogous now with the phone, but you took the wrong part of the analogy and applied it. Anything that exists that has a starting point that is caused by something, whatever causes it needs to require necessary attributes to bring it into existence. That's just common sense. Without necessary attributes, you're not going to be able to bring it. Then it'll be something else that caused it. So where is the irrationality or the lack of logic or the inconsistency?
Because the way you word this, bringing it into existence implies some agency that chooses to bring it into existence. And that is the part of your analogy that I reject.
Do you know what is the definition of the word cause, which I've used and you agreed with? You don't know what the cause is, but you know there is a cause. Let's agree on that first.
Yeah, something must have caused it.
Okay.
Yeah, cause as
English
in...
is your first language, I'm assuming, right? English is not my first language.
No, it's not.
Right?
No, I'm Dutch.
Okay, so it's not both of our first language, but
yeah.
Do you know what the word cause means?
Yes.
Clearly, you are fluent in English, and Dutch people are very fluent in English. So what does the word...
Apparently so.
What does the word cause mean?
To instigate or to bring about.
Okay. So to bring about something, which is what I was saying, to bring about the universe, and then a second later you say I disagree because that implies agency.
Yes, because that implies some agency.
Did you agree with that there must be something that causes the universe because common sense necessitates that if there is an effect, there is a cause? If there is a universe, there by definition it needs to be brought about by something. And you cannot bring about something without making a decision to bring about something, which necessitates a choice.
No, because that would imply that cause and effect always necessitates some kind of agency, and that is the part of your analogy that I disagree with.
I didn't say that.
Because something can have an effect on something else without some agency being involved, like a rock falling down a hill and hitting another rock. Like that did not involve any agency on the rock's part to cause the other rock to fall as well.
That's a straw man because we're talking about the first thing in this case, which is the universe, and that cannot happen.
Okay.
If you talk about rock, which can be...
Wait.
Allow me to finish what I'm saying. Like I allowed you to finish. I allowed you to finish.
I'm just asking for clarification.
But I have to finish so you can get clarification. I need to finish my sentence first. Okay? So it's very there's no issues. There's no need to get agitated. It's just you allow me to speak. I allow you to speak.
I'm not agitated. I'm only interrupting for clarification. That's all.
Sure. If there is a rock that is moving, that is a consequence of a long chain of events taking place that require the choice and agency in the beginning. Now, if I ask about the first thing, in this case, which is the universe, then by necessity, that cannot happen without a choice because there is no line of different cause and effects before it that can cause that point to take place. So if we're talking about the universe, which is the first thing, your analogy fails. And that's why, as I said, it's a straw man. Now, with the universe, which is the beginning of everything, the beginning of existence as we know it, that by definition would require a choice to take place.
I disagree. I don't think you've shown that this requires an active choice. We could just presuppose that it is due to some natural process that caused the universe to expand.
Natural by definition.
And now you're interrupting me. So just let me finish my point. If I say, okay, it must be something intrinsic to the universe that caused it to expand, and you were claiming, okay, there must be some agency involved, both of us have just as much of a leg to stand on as the other.
That's incorrect because you used the word, the alternative you brought was natural cause, and that is by definition limited to the universe. That is what natural is. So you cannot claim a natural cause caused the universe because there was no universe that time. So there was no natural causes. So whatever causes
my position,
whatever causes
there must be some mistake. There must be there's a misunderstanding here because
it's okay.
Right, but there is a misunderstanding here because I think the universe has always existed.
Do you take the scientific consensus that this universe has a starting point referred to as the Big Bang or whatever? Do you accept that scientific consensus that we have today?
Yes.
From the beginning of this conversation, I knew how the conversation was gonna go, and that's why I was very clear in my position telling you that I'm not here to convince you. I'll tell you why I said I'm not here to convince you is because I know you're not looking to be convinced. So far, you misattribute things to me. I'm saying you strawman my arguments or basic common sense, which if I stop 100 people in the street would agree to, you would disagree with. So what ends up happening is I would end up spending minutes of my time that are very valuable to me, and I hope your time is valuable to you. And I would like to use that on something more valuable, meaning something who's more sincere and more willing to engage with rational discourse back and forth. So thank you for coming, Martin. The reason
really you're choosing to end the conversation?
Yes, I am 100%. It's my choice. It's my channel. I can do it.
All right, it's your life, man. It's your choice.
So why I believe there is, and I'm going to finish with that, responding to your question, why I am of the position there is a creator is because things do not come into existence out of nowhere. If something is there and has a starting point, then it requires a cause because there's an effect taking place. Energy do not come to matter to existence by themselves. They would require a cause to bring them into existence. They do not expand or compress into a singularity by themselves. They do not do that in very precise measurements that result in very fine detailed laws, like the laws of physics, gravity, electromagnetic waves, etc. They also, most certainly, they do not end up having fine-tuning, which allows life to exist. And there's a very interesting book for you to read. A very interesting book, which is actually
no, but you can't go to fine tuning. You can't go to fine tuning because
not just interrupting each other. It's by Martin Rees. It's called Six Numbers.
No, because you're about to throw me out, and I can't respond to what you're saying. So you can only point to fine tuning in the sense that you only look at things that you think are fine tuned.
It's not about responding. Because there is no longer a discussion. I told you already why I'm ending the discussion. I was just responding.
All right, man. Then I am ending the discussion before you get a chance.
Sure. Thank you very much. No problem. We'll both end the discussion with each other.
يا قلوبا فيها الوفاء بشركم اليوم السرورا